I also one of the things I loved was ballroom and partnering. I did that for a little while too, of just trying to learn it, and that's something that Brian was so wonderful about. He taught me so much about partnering. Of course you learn that in ballet, but really interesting things. I love doing lifts. It's something I do a lot of as a choreographer. I love partnering, and I like creating levels with people and kind of sculptures, and I like that a lot. And I really think that a lot of that came from Brian, because that I was that person in the air, I was that person that did all that stuff, and yeah, it was exhilarating, and I love seeing it I like it in shows. I don't know, I like to put it in my shows because it's the human contact, and I think that now that we have Cirque du Soleil, which does the extreme of unbelievable human contact. But it's fun when it's still story driven, and you put it into a story, and it's a wonderful way in a production number to, create, to elevate your number. Production numbers are hard because, structurally in a musical, this is a very old-fashioned way of thinking about it, but it's true. We can no longer, we sing because we can no longer speak about it in a book musical. And then we dance because we can no longer sing because it's just elevated. And then we dance, and then we start the whole process again. And that's kind of what happens, in a musical. And so hopefully you have these earned moments where that's why we dance, because we've exploded into this kind of energy. And certainly that's how a lot of musicals are structured. And there are things in a musical that really work, as far as, I don't want to say the word formula, but there kind of is, that production numbers and how.
What do you mean really work?
Well,
really fit together, really resonate, really.
For example, we have dance breaks often in a musical. There's a reason there's a dance break, because again, when you sing and dance, that's one thing. You're splitting senses. You're asking the audience to listen and to watch. But what works well is that you have a dance break, that you release that other one and let them just do that.
Right.
And then sometimes we do both. Those are things that work, and it is how you build a number. Often it's very difficult to what we call, finish a production number. Lack of a better word, button it, finish it. It's hard to do that. The greats, the Rodgers and Hammerstein, the greats really knew how to do a production number, and there's some great writers right now working, and I'm working on some new work that they're just extraordinary at it. And you build, and at a production number, once you've danced, the question is, where do you go? How do you finish? What's the end of that?
And
you have two choices. You can, often what I do 9 times out of 10 is I'll sing again. That's the Donna where they go, oh gosh, she's gonna make us do that. Yeah, I'm known for that. Like that's the training part. That's the cardio dance, and now we're gonna sing.
Right.
Which is really hard to do. But that's a great way to finish. The other way is like a crapshooters ballet in Guys and Dolls, which is written to be finished as a dance. It has to be written that way. Production numbers are hard. Because remember, out of a production number, we have to continue with the show.
And how do you continue with the show after a pretty spectacular production number? The narrative will continue, but it all bounces down.
I feel really sad for that actor that has to come on after, because they have to come on and top that, and basically or underplay it. It is hard. It's actually a great question. I think it's a real. I think about it all the time of how we go from those big production numbers to moving on with the story. It's a pace thing, Robert. Like you have to, that's the thing about doing revivals and new work. Revivals, you have something to go on. Yes, you can reimagine them, but the source material is still the source material. The music works. That those jokes will work. You could do it differently, and I've had the great fortune at Stratford to be able to reimagine and be able to redo a lot of the stuff. But the music, Kenner Neb is Kenner Neb. Like that's, yes, I got to do new choreography, but the music's there. On a new musical, you don't totally know. if it works structurally.